right to it. Our first guest tonight can be heard most weeknights from 7 to 10 p.m. on 105.3 The Fan, along with co-host Pete Stein. He is formerly with Comcast Sportsnet in Philadelphia, also played college baseball in Philly as well at Temple University. Please welcome to the show for the first time, Mike Rodriguez. Good to have you.
Great to be here. Thanks a lot for having me.
Now, you played college baseball. Why aren't you out now with a major league team helping them win the pennant or something?
I wish, right? It was everybody's dream to do that, but I am still lucky enough to play in the Dallas Men's Senior Baseball League.
That's pretty cool.
A great little baseball league here in Dallas, and a bunch of the old timers and has-beens or never had it get to go out there and play every once in a while. So it's fun.
That is very cool. Now, how did you get hooked up with the Fan, Mike?
Well, originally I started out with 1080 KRLD on the AM side. For the past 3 seasons. You could have heard me on Rangers Replay with Michael Golnick. I was doing post-game interviews and analysis on that show. So I kind of got grandfathered in, and it was in the right place at the right time. So.
And you're also doing Rangers post-game with a Golnick as well, following Rangers games on 105.3 The Fan. That's got to be a lot of fun, especially right now.
Right now, it's great. And we all had a feeling that this team was going to take off. You know, the last couple of years, it was tough. You know, there were some hard times, but we saw what was coming. We saw the prospects. We saw guys like Derek Holland coming up. We saw what Ian Kinsler was going to become over the last couple of seasons. And then last year we saw what we had in Josh Hamilton, too. So there was some light at the end of the tunnel, and right now that light is really beaming. So
it really is shining bright right now. Of course, they did get derailed by the D train a little last night, but still very hot. And, Mike, you've got to love the way they are playing and winning right now. It's not the old-fashioned slug-it-out, win 10-9 type game. I mean, they're playing fundamentals, good fundamental baseball.
The word I used the other week on Rangers Replay was complete baseball. They're playing a complete game right now. When their pitching struggles, it seems like the offense picks them up, and vice versa. Right now, there's not a lot of weaknesses on this team, and you have to sit back and imagine what this team is going to do when the offense becomes red hot again.
Right.
Because right now, they're losing games because of their bats, which is not, who would have thought that? I mean, that's something that nobody was expecting. So, you know, when the bats do take off and everybody finds a full rhythm, you know, we're sitting here right now in mid-May with, 3 guys that have already reached double digits in home runs, and not one of them is Josh Hamilton.
It's amazing.
So we're looking at 6 guys in this lineup that are going to be reaching double figures soon, including Hamilton, at least by the All-Star break. The offense is going to get there, and then look out.
And one of the guys, really, the manager or coach in town, Mike, who I think gets the least amount of pub, is Ron Washington.
Yeah.
And you've got to now start appreciating what this guy is doing. Seemed to be, at times, a little in over his head the first couple of years, but the players trust him, they like him, and they enjoy playing for him.
It's hard not to like Ron Washington. And I think the fans really don't get to see the passion or the aggression that Wash has with this team. If you ever get a chance to just talk baseball with the guy, it takes about 2 seconds to realize how passionate he is about it. Yeah. And he's been waiting and waiting and waiting to get a talented team together because he hasn't had a lot to work with over the last couple of seasons. Now he does. And now's the time I think Ron Washington is really going to shine because he has the talent. And, in years past, he always used to say, he couldn't make chicken salad out of chicken what.
Yeah, right.
And that's kind of what,
well said.
Right now, he's got the talent, and I think this guy's going to do a good job the rest of the season.
Yeah, and Mike, one of those talented guys is Ian Kinsler, who I think only Evan Longoria of Tampa is ahead in the AL MVP consideration, of course, so far. With so much power, though, any thought of moving him down in the lineup where you can take advantage of some of that RBI strength?
I think eventually he looks like he could be a great number 3 hitter.
Sure, yeah.
But right now, they need him at the top of the lineup. It wouldn't surprise me if maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, he's not the number 3 guy. They've got a prospect in AAA right now, a center fielder by the name of Julio Bourbon.
Yes.
He excelled last year in the leadoff spot in AA for the Rough Riders. Eventually, I think he could be the leadoff hitter of the future. But right now, I mean, you've got arguably the best leadoff hitter in the game and one of the best 2-3 hitters in the game.
Has there ever been a leadoff hitter hit 45 to 50 homers in a year? I don't know if that's ever happened before.
The only guy that you can look back at is a guy like Ricky Henderson, or a guy like Craig Biggio. A second baseman like Biggio was. He had the kind of pop that Kinsler does, putting out maybe 20 home runs, 25 home runs.
Yeah.
But right now, if Kinsler stays healthy, that's the key to this team. He's the one guy in that lineup that they can't afford to lose.
Well, Mike, the rotation, as we have said, has just been amazing. And is it perhaps unrealistic to think that they will continue in this way, a sub-3 ERA? I mean, you're talking about guys who haven't really done it before with the exception of Kevin Millwood. So what is your thought on that?
We don't know what we have with guys like Feldman and Harrison and McCarthy. So with that being said, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they could put together a full season where Scott Feldman or Matt Harrison wins 10 to 15 games out of nowhere. We kind of know what we have with Padilla. He's going to be a 13, 14 win guy. He struggles in the second half. Millwood, if he stays healthy, he's in great shape. It's his contract year right now. You expect Millwood to get at least, 14 to 15 wins and have a pretty good ERA.
Yeah.
And the rest of the guys, they're question marks, but they're good question marks. I think there's more upside to those Feldman, McCarthy, Harrison types than there was in pitchers from years past.
And we're also now starting to hear a lot of the buzz again about Ben Sheets. He's hanging around the guys, the locker room, and
we talked about this on the Fan the other day, and I'm against Ben Sheets right now.
Really?
I'm against it.
Okay.
Mainly because you have a lot of pitching depth right now. Guys in the minor leagues, a guy in the bullpen right now. Everybody knows the name Derek Holland. Eventually he's going to crack this rotation. I spoke to Nolan Ryan last month. He said the plan for Holland is to just kind of get his feet wet, get settled right now. Eventually he is going to make the rotation at some point this season.
Yeah.
I don't know whose spot he's going to take, but there's only 5 spots. So
that's right.
If you add a Ben Sheets, who are you going to take out of that mix right now? And I don't know if you want to mess with that right now. And give it time. Give it time.
Yeah, someone would have to struggle mightily for that to happen. Let's talk Cowboys quickly. You're getting really involved with Cowboys now on the Fan, and OTAs, of course, have started. And Mike, it seems everyone wants to gauge the emotion of Tony Romo.
Yeah.
It seems they're focusing more on his words than his throws. And at some point, you got to start maybe backing off the guy. What do you think? Are we being too critical this early on him?
Well, I had a chance to take in the OTA yesterday, and by the way, you can go to our website 1053thefan.com.
There it is.
Yeah,
yes.
we've got some of the video that we're seeing right now, exclusive practice video. Plus, we've got interviews with Roy Williams and DeMarcus Ware on there. But
fantastic.
Going back to Tony Romo, I think it's going to be the most intriguing year of his career because, we looked at the numbers recently. Next to only Dan Marino, after 39 starts, Marino's the only guy that has better numbers than Tony Romo.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that. Now, keep in mind, that was with Terrell Owens. And when you have a T.O. and when you have a Jason Witten and you had those kind of weapons combined together,
right.
you might be a guy that's mentioned with Marino and Elway and Favre in the first 39 games. But right now, I think without Terrell Owens, it's going to be really interesting to see how Tony Romo does this year.
Well, I tell you what, Mike, it's just flown by like that. I wish we had more time. Mike Rodriguez, thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, we'll do it again.
Anytime.
We'll talk Rangers, hopefully pennant race Rangers. What do you think about that?
I can't wait. I'll be your pennant race guy.
I like it. And the fans can't wait either. Mike, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up next, FC Dallas Soccer still looking for its second win of the MLS.